Legit. How'd we go from when Kenny was drafted? Kenny, crushing beers on stage, having a good time. Kenny Pickett, number one quarterback, to 2 years later. Pretty much now, most of the fan base, or I'd say majority, and the internet fan base, not the local guy down the pub, drinking a few schooners, still wearing his Kenny Pickett jersey, slinging them back, right? But a majority of the fan base, I think on the online version, because we're online, I'm online, you're online. And if you like the content, make sure you like, subscribe, do all those kind of things. As I'm wearing my Steelers hat, just cause I want to. Yeah. How did we go from Kenny to now completely writing him off and trading for Justin Fields, getting in Russell Wilson to take over? If Russell Wilson, I'm not saying, look, it may happen, like maybe a chance of 5%. If that happens, where Omar Khan makes a deal and free agent Russell Wilson, veteran, comes to the Steelers, fine. Let it be. I'm okay with it. I'll support him as best I can. And it would be quite exciting. It would be. It'd be kind of cool. Not getting too hyped up. But if Wilson comes over, that means Kenny Pickett is done. They're pushing him aside, and the Steelers fan base will be like, yes, we got Wilson. Kenny's out. He sucks. He's terrible. Gone. But will the Steelers do that? That's what I'm getting back to. 9 times out of 10, we know how this team works. They're going to go with Kenny into the third year, see what happens. If it doesn't work out, Kenny Pickett and the Steelers in the fourth year might be non-existent. They might cut him, use him as backup, quarterback number 2, 3, whatever it may be, right? Now, we have heard these reports from Adam Schefter today and recently over the last few weeks, but now Russell Wilson's being cut. I think officially by Denver, he's gone or going. Now, Schefter said this, right? So this via Andrew Filippono way. And I know, by the way, too, I understand I pronounce these names wrong, but I do it on purpose because I don't really see Andrew Filipponi that much of a Steeler fan, nor do I see him as a journalist. He's just a guy on radio. Shefty says here on the Pat McAfee show, the Steelers quarterback situation, they're looking. I do think Justin Fields or Russell Wilson could be in play. We'll see. Now, we've been hearing those names for 4 or 5 weeks, maybe 6, 7 weeks, and never really from the organization. Omar Khan said he has faith in Kenny Pickett. However, he did say, too, there could be a possibility, leaving options open in case of a trade or, free agents, right? But they have to. They've got to do that. They need to look after the organization and look towards getting a quarterback for competition, or possibly you could get a better quarterback than Kenny Pickett. That's what they're meant to do. GMs are meant to do that and say all the right things. But he did say having faith in Kenny Pickett. Mike Tomlin said that he backs Kenny Pickett. Arthur Smith, went down to Florida, per sources that I've heard too, that he went and met Kenny Pickett. Art Rooney said he's backing Kenny Pickett. Okay. Terry Bradshaw was backing Kenny Pickett. All right. Now, I know there's other ideas around there that the Steelers players in the locker room, they want Rudolph. And I'm the same way. But right now, Mason Rudolph is only a free agent. He's not signed as a Steelers quarterback. If they sign Rudolph tomorrow or in 2 weeks' time, I'm completely fine with that. That's fine. You sign him up and you let the games begin. Quarterback competition, Kenny Pickett, Mason Rudolph, may the best man win. However, though, hopefully that we do get a true, quarterback competition and not like we've seen over the last 2 years where they just give it to Trubisky or Kenny Pickett beats out Mason Rudolph. We don't want that. We want true quarterback competition for that example. So from Schefter and the mainstream media guys are all saying Wilson, Fields. By the way, the Fields thing, not going to happen. They're not going to trade a second round pick, a third, or DJ to the Bears. I highly doubt that happens. If they were to trade Fields, it's like a 4th rounder, maybe a 5th, something like that. I think Fields' stock now is dropping, plummeting, and there's no real interest from other teams. So what are the Bears going to do? I have no idea. But I highly doubt the Steelers go and get Fields to replace Kenny Pickett. He's had over 62 turnovers, but we've been through that. Now, there are other reports too. According to Josh Carney, he works for Steelers Depot. He's a Steelers reporter over there, or a beat writer. So he's got sources here and there and everywhere, right? According to multiple reports Monday morning, the Steelers are not interested in signing Wilson, or they're actively working on a trade to Fields. Now, I've heard that from Alan Saunders, Michael Bowley, all the guys over there. If you listen to DK Sports, they're all saying the same thing. They're not actively trying to get Fields. They're not really trying to go after Russell Wilson. So then as fans, why do we keep sitting on that hill where we want to try and get the quarterback in the news? It happened last year with Rodgers. I made one video about it, and I was kind of like, it could happen, could be a chance. But then it really wasn't. We know as fans how the Steelers run. They're most likely going to get Mason back, or a quarterback number 2 who's going to be behind Kenny Pickett, have some competition, right? But at least give Kenny Pickett a chance to be QB1. That's what we see. And I understand that some of the fan base doesn't like Kenny Pickett. That's fine. If you like him, dislike him, or if you're in the middle sitting on the fence, it is kind of funny to see everyone arguing about this over and over and over and over, while meaning at the same time, Kenny Pickett's out living his best life on a boat with his wife and his friends having a good time. We can't control who the Steelers choose. That's what I find so funny about this stuff. And what I see the Steelers doing, to be very honest, from my view, is Kenny Pickett will be QB1 week 1. They will have either Mason Rudolph or someone like that, QB2. They'll draft a third, and that's it. And we see how the season plays out. And a lot of fans have been telling me on the internet, online, have been saying, well, if this happens, if Kenny Pickett starts a season, that means the season is over. And I say to them, has it happened yet? Is the season over in March? No, we have so long to go until September. We have the free agent period coming up soon. We have the draft. We have so many things happening. Training camp, all this stuff to happen, like a whole season. And already a lot of Steel fans are like, oh, if Kenny Pickett's my quarterback, I give up. I'm not going to watch. Then don't watch. Take a season off. If you're not a fan of Tomlin and your last straw is Tomlin, take a season off. Guys like me, fans like me, and some fans out there as well, they see this team doing good things, getting better at the O-line position. Our running game has never been better than it ever is. Najee Harris and Warren looks fantastic as a 1-2 punch. You give Najee Harris the extension. You have to. You shore up the O-line. You give more reps to Washington. Freiermuth needs a bounce-back season. Pickens needs a season. Do they trade Deontay? Maybe, maybe not. Could be a possibility. Do they work in Calvin Austin in more? Hopefully. Do they go and get another receiver 3? Or do they go and get a receiver in the draft? Let's hope so. There's more things happening than just worrying about, whinging about, or complaining about Kenny Pickett being a bad quarterback. And at the same time, it's only year 3. What happened to a little bit of patience? That's a Guns N' Roses song. A little bit of patience. What happened to that? I'm kind of getting over it, man. Maybe I need to read less on TV or the internet, but that's where I get all my news from, because I'm stuck here in Australia. I'm a Steelers fan from Australia. I've been there 3 times. I love the Steelers. I do wish Kenny well. I hope he can bounce back and get TDs and prove everybody wrong. Because right now, everyone, or not everyone, but a high majority of Steel fans have either given up or they're going after Kenny for, I think, no real reason. They rode the hot hand with Mason Rudolph last year. You had to do that. The Pittsburgh Steelers had to go with Mason. Even if Kenny Pickett was healthy, they set him on purpose, you had to go with Rudolph because he was playing better. This year in year 3, new season, see what happens. Year 3, off season, numerous coaches coming into the offense with wide receiver coaches, quarterbacks coach, new OC. like a proper OC, no Matt Canada, healthy Kenny Pickett, in a brand new season, and already people are like, nah, we're done. Hang on, hang on. Nah, we're done, mate. We're done. We're out of here. We can't win this, mate. No point. Kenny Pickett players, I'm not watching. Kenny Pickett players, I'm not watching. Yeah, I'm done. If KPA, it's all connected to Pitt franchise. It's because he's from the Pit. I'm done. That's what I hear. That's all I ever hear from that. And it drives me insane. It drives me absolutely insane that just because Kenny Pickett had 2 bad years or still trying to figure some things out, the Pittsburgh Steelers are invested in Kenny Pickett. They got him in a first round pick. If it doesn't work out, it's one more year in the third year. And then next minute, you figure it out next year. Build the O line, build the D line, get back to physicality in our team, the Steelers way, run the rock as hard as you can. And Kenny Pickett, just do your best to not turn the ball over and have a good season. We don't need you to be great this season. Just have a good season and build the franchise to come. If Kenny Pickett's a guy, fantastic. It works out. If he's not the guy, at least you build the O-line for next season. That's my point. Build it for next season. Don't worry about trading for Fields or getting one of the high price. Kirk Cousins. We don't need Kirk Cousins. End that narrative. It's absolute BS.